All smiles, all smiles, all smiles, all smiles, all smiles. My man, I see ladies first, unfortunately. Facheme, why? All right, Mary.
Yeah.
Akwaba.
Yeah.
You be able to
Yeah, Adom.
Yeah. Oh, you're a big woman, oh, CEO and co-founder. Wow. Okay, and Mary, my man, Shasi free also.
Okay.
So you tell us a bit about the International Sickle Cell Center. Then you made the important in Amudino.
Okay, International Sickle Cell Center, ISCC for short.
Yes.
Yeah, sickle cell non-profit Ghana. And your main focus sickle cell education, any awareness. Your science your research for sickle cell disease and then Ghana phone for sickle cell and then the gaps I was say you feel say you're educating Crawford. And your science will provide interventions into your interventions name your back to school program. Meaning say Crawford baby size like bet me aboa me bad the now school ne here sika
the floodgates this is here.
Yes no here sika but then it's one of our priorities because in Crawford because of sickle cell disease no mama drop it out of school from very poor homes and they are not able to further more education. It is one of our key priorities actually and entrepreneurship and employment program so especially mothers because of sickle cell disease lose your jobs lose your marriages in to me and sustaining ejuma because somunya capital na munya sikana no bring na kwhwe omumanenti empowerment any entrepreneurship programs they are to help them remain financially independent.
Fantastic. Theo my member minimsa fibiano we celebrate the World Sickle Cells Day, but how relevant, how important is our celebration here afibia
Okay, so it's very important. Very important. Say all the associations na obi a on visions and in missions. Inti na ye kabom sana na yetumi ama your voice are more stronger. For example, number 1, you can say global unity. Inti say ni na ye kabom sana na ye de your visions ni missions idea ye fighting for. For example, ISCC omo ye into research ye sickle cell disease support group. We are the patient mouthpiece. Inti na you come together sana na ye then ye share ideas, relevant ideas. In a second, education and awareness into raise awareness ye church ye hu about the care, making policies into your kabom sana ebe my your voice are stronger you bet me akwa ban ho nyama ye impatient omu hia you bet me aye den a cultural ban say we say na here into bet me aye den aboahin with making policies to say for example hydroxyurea by NHIS so it is our unified collaboration in ama hydroxyurea then NHIS.
Wow.
So it's very important say na ebe kabom aye den ama sickle cell day to be a success.
Okay, but the very fundamental question as I say now create me here you can sickle cell DNA how does it even affect the body? Mary my member of na feeling ko
okay inti sickle cell disease eno ani ahuntutuo anase sasabro na moja mu yare anya free awofo ho na meka awofo a meka omame eni opapa ankrofo bi mu dream say omame no was sickle cell disease anase opapa no was sickle cell disease I try say mani nyina be wo yare no there be inti so omame no AS and I am funny say papa in sickle cell status AS try say omo ye careers omo ni yare no me say me AS inti se wan hwe wo moja mu a wonhu da inti ena eba so ba ne be ma hia genetic material nyama ema akola no a whole independent unique person no e be free o mama ho e be so free o papa ho inti sa genetic material no o mama ni so ye AS so ma akola ni S na o papa ni so ma akola ni S na chesa akola no ni moja no hemoglobin no e be ye ni genetic e be ye SS inti sa akola no sickle cell genotype e be ye SS pe e chese ye be wu no with yare no into sickle cell disease enye yare a ye disane anase bibi rise from emre kosuane sperm ni be hia no ehonum na ye determine sa akola no obeye career ati so mama ni papa AS anase obeye AA anase obeye SS na sickle cell disease no once aye wa akola no with SS no sickle cell disease no was SS and the only type of sickle cell disease. Yeah, it was several types, but SS need the most common type. And SS and SC no, and I common as I Ghana hanum. SS we no say awoba ti se ne awo hosisia no anase ntontom ka onpakro no wo sickle cell no nya malaria anase oye dwumaden pa anase obre anase onya infection bia ema moja no once obia moja cells bi wo ho your friend red blood cells inti say any of these triggers ema moja no shape no red blood cells in shape necessary inti instead say be round to say donut no e be to say half moon instrument half yes to say kwedu na kikabomu a chese ase pipe a blocky inti se pipe na block ya won say insuon to me mfamu inti blood vessels na ewo hunam no mojan to me mfamu ye say sickle red blood cells no ebobomu a inti the part of the body na affecting no nya oxygen so body tissues na nya oxygen pe e de oya oba e de complications but and they start to die inti sickle cell disease no ekowa dream a ma stroke ekowa ni a etumi ma wo eye visual disturbances na ema ebimpo omani fra eba wo lungs bibi wo high friend acute chest syndrome na enuni the most common cause of death was sickle cell among sickle cell warriors ebetumi ama wakoma ye kese obetumi anya heart failure ebetumi affect wo liver wo spleen wo kidney when your kidney failure ebetumi ama we crow wo nine ho your friend chronic leg ulcer enko emema no so etumi ma won bibia your friend priapism into your mobile man sometimes to me jina ho for hours like 4 hours or more into say jina ho for 4 hours or more na say a cut down na say time be more than 4 hours and it's continuous recurrent to me ma onya erectile dysfunction into the complications of sickle cell disease no a vast and the impact sickle cell affects you nipa ba kwa and yet the only that individual their family their friends even their economy in see and na my body role for sickle cell disease world sickle cell day celebrations way because it's a global problem and it's neglected. That's the issue.
Mata this question is not here. But how important it is to know a blood group, because we know that also is very important. But especially ansana waware anase bibisa, is it very necessary? So me who so me blood group here say oba number one so the blood group A say so as not to come up with some of these conversations. Mata.
So blood group is different from genotype.
Okay.
Blood group here we have the A, the B, the AB, the O, then we have the positives and the negatives.
And the negatives, okay.
But genotype, AA, SC, SS, and the other abnormal hemoglobins.
Do we really consider genotype? Yeah, okay.
Yes. So what I usually advocate for is know your genotype. Then we share the panel right at hello. Me pacho hello, your friend me Martha, me AS. It will save you a lot of issues. Send your beya whilst moye in down for now you are going about your business. No him say nipa we meaning nanti ni genotype AS. Means me genotype AA. Just in case in future if you decide say mo ben nanti no him say you are safe. If you don't know name genotype, we always advise say we be call a trusted laboratory. No wakoye. It was say ubia every Ghanaian should know their genotype. It should be say yet to say with second nature. To say near unim or blood group. Unim say ebimu ni age or more height, know your genotype. It saves a lot of issues because sewunima, it would prevent all of this issues with sickle cell disease.
Yes.
But then again, semuye AS now mo ye madwin says still mo be nante anasa mo be warrior there. Then genetic counseling will come into it. Yene mo be kasa. We will tell you all the options available. Part now you have chosen what to expect. Near woman send your beya and the way I'll be born who buy send your beya munya akwala or sickle cell disease. So knowing your genotype is key.
Okay.
Inti me per se enaye well sickle cell obi bia or tie and someone new genotype walk into any trusted laboratory. Go and check your genotype. Know your genotype. It saves lives.
Yes. All right. Mary, now person can be also.
Yes, inti genotype and one is sickle cell status,
yes.
No. Inti when say genetic counseling now can once the couple no name say omuye AS and I said they are one is AS and the other is AC no. You seek genetic counseling. The preventive options no more also. But what a lot of people any a separation. Semwa mushemu ye catch sickle cells and ya mitre no is very unpredictable. Sometimes in crophobimu or more sickle cell disease and they think say because me dear no I can still marry someone who is a carrier and my child even if my child near one with sickle cell I need dear no anything. But the child can have sickle cell disease anu yedin crossing your mommy dear and also papa dear. And the stress of taking care of a child of a color sickle cell disease or mommy cry but me am also crisis. Inti child is in crisis, mother is in crisis, or father is in crisis. Inti the couple we tell them say even if you owe busuani and I say relative friend be our sickle cell. Inti wudrin say anu nsheda nyedin because ni dia ni nyedin. Enu nche say wo bad dia no anu enyede. Ebet me am wa lose everything to be honest. Inti either say after ya tremu ningnemu you decide to separate and no dear you go your separate ways again can't you say munjai by ya catch you now wakasawatu yeah exactly and now say you go for IVF PGT no and no a medical procedure e wo ye befa oba ni kosua na ya fa be man ni sperm ye di bomu a na ya hwe se embryos na ye be form no ne wo hin na any sickle cell inti ne any sickle cell no na ya transfer dia call oba na wodiemu very expensive. By now, no, I'm sure say it will be almost 100,000 cedis for just one procedure. And averagely, Nkrofo need about 2 procedures to have a successful pregnancy. Even after having a successful pregnancy, no, and saying him say miscarriage so but then in Crawford IVF PGT or mama any sickle cell disease as carrier individuals. Another thing your prenatal diagnosis and your couples are or more by a home more catch and say you're worried that one said divorce or how be brave colano. So what can we do to avoid prevent giving birth to more children or more sickle cell disease? In Bimu, because of Musika and through IVF PGT no, and on bet me for the prenatal diagnosis. And so banning in saying early in pregnancy around 11-12 weeks no. You bet me I be a friend in chorionic villus sampling. In Tiebe some tissue kakra every placenta no. Na ashese akolano or sickle cell and nase only be. And I say a baby be a friend amniocentesis, ye be insure kakra e wa kola no ho. Na I shall say will be another option ye adoption. In Crawford say adoption is very easy, but adoption process is very stressful. It's very long.
I know.
And it's expensive.
I know.
It's so stressful. So like you be catcher ye shanyama on a surface level me boy. Yeah, but when you go into the details, like what is expected, no, now you would advise yourself, and now say you decide to stay child free and not give birth, not adopt, and then you be in love and stay forever like that.
Okay.
So yeah, just make an informed decision. That's what we are telling people. But try to reduce the chances of giving birth to a child with sickle cell disease. In Ghana, 18,000 children every year and I one with sickle cell disease. In fact, more than that, because you need newborn screening. You newborn screening. I say you call a crashing and all the we are definitely going to have more than that. That's just sickle cell disease.
18,000.
More than estimates of 18,000
every year.
Yes.
Oh God.
So how many adults already are living with sickle cell disease in Ghana?
Yeah.
Well, and how many young people? Because careers in Ghana for me and share at least 1 out of 3 AS and I say AC and I say SS and I say SC. In see me and Sanayeti Hano me SS. Let me take it. I mean AS. Martha AS. Theophilus was here. Theophilus is a fashion with there. But that was a project winning with their campaign.
Oh, okay.
I asked people, do you know your sickle cell status? Get tested. But I want to chip this in. Sickle Gene Action Foundation.
Yes.
And then free sickle cell screening.
Wow.
Yeah. Ewa done so man.
Okay, so you gathered that information.
Yeah.
Come on, so we'll give that information out. Theo, share the picture here in Ghana. What are some of the challenges? Yeah, one more sickle cell, one more FM Ghana. Theophilus.
Okay, so number one, say the care of sickle cell is expensive. Financial burden here is very huge. For example, Minka say hydroxyurea. Sometimes we have challenges with the NHIS system. Into a draw back one pabeto, almost 4 cities. And I idea about debia. So calculate 4 cities for like a year. Ni boy so we will be a unye juma a problem. Secondly, social isolation. Because the social isolation actually say in crofona omo sickle cell disease ye inform omo enhye bibia ombe say leadership role. So be who say ebia sickle cell patient standing for MPA omo voting man because omo nim say we
meaning there's a form of stigmatization.
Yes, that's another point. Okay. So stigmatization. Almost sideline you. Now so entisa. So you are just like an ordinary person. And who here say obe sideline no sa. And secondly, so no more sickle cell nankasa because education in your monty. Almost so much to say omu ni ahoden nti so mbetumi aya ade ne kra ombe yi omu efrim because omu de ato omu trim say then omu ni ahoden challenge fufura mpese medical ho ne say psychological burden omu adwim pono omu ni adwim a eyedin say omu face challenges bia I say omu tumi overcoming such challenges omu ni sa adwimupona ombetumi den are facing such challenges.
I think it's depression.
Okay,
so literature says 1 in 3 people living with sickle cell disease normally are depressed. And the depression is mainly because of pain. And is usually unpredictable. Sometimes me say yeah, NGO no ye sickle cell patients or money and volunteer. Bako by say be juma. Inti me ko say me ko checking on him. Me be me puno or da form e wo me puno nim. Ah wo e ya mo. Oba say be juma na your deadline. Inti my confused. Already into na me crasika wo me ho. Me say ready assemble ni. Your deadline. Mean jai deadline na me fan in hospital na. Na me sign some crasica. But me now call hospital anything can happen. No bet to me inti I had to forget about the deadline. I had to forget about fact say me crasica and na me rushing call Kolebu. He came, he walked in he wasn't in pain. Inti it can be very unpredictable. Inti say wo be you get very scared. You can get worried. Inti and I say no a dose or a recurrent ma ebimu ye depressed. Inti depression no and then affecting one mentally. And na ebimu so to me affect ebimu relationship.
Okay.
Ebi you was sickle cell warrior or ye ho. After work, school, work training, or your IT professional, because of yareɛ no ɔyɛ adwuma biara in IT no the stress no nti he had to stop working. Sesia he's not working, he's in his 40s. Ɛna Andrea a pharmacist friend of ours January way and all pass away. Ni mama catch me say he was okay, generally okay until I started say oh yeah juma as a pharmacist and a crisis she thinks say stress from but I know biana these things happen to there you won't in fact I see since you won't more sickle cell disease or more who didn't say me cramming sickle cell so it's based on the it is dependent on the individual obi diano or dimpa obi diano nyeding but he passed this January after we school why pharmacist into a case is so unpredictable and it can turn your life upside down. It can affect even the parents no say some people feel guilty. Whoa, into the psychological burden now or cano. That is another big issue and a stigma no. Some people can have so much energy and do much more than woman or moon sick, but we have the stigma say we obewu ochna me onia one day into let's not add him, let's not employ him. Into affecting omo ejuma getting enyo obiao some of them getting jobs. Yeah.
Okay. On the issue of stigma, no matter, are there any myths around sickle cell? Yeah, it lead to stigmatization. No matter.
Yeah, Mary started with the phrase, "No say, you see, ochinameu." For their two imagine say some people their two imagine say, "Oh, sickle cell disease area ube wuntem." It is a myth, and no cray because. Says yeah, the we are area sikoni nimdiaba, indroaba, hydroxyurea or penicillin wo omundra omofa, it keeps them healthy no and wo inti so yeah sickle cell patients. Now we show musu ye. Now we found undro. Now when your supports, family support, societal support now. You thrive. Your sickle cell patients they are in their hundreds. I am not exaggerating. Bako is with us, ISCC, Madam Beatrice. She's in her 80s. I think say 87.
Wow.
And inti usha wuhusu year, you can thrive. But your exceptions be womu. Ombe tumia ye be pia SSO but still omotai yare. Then unfortunately they can pass. But a no is not the usual norm. You thrive. It is
disclaimer.
Yes.
The disclaimer is that literature trace yes, I studies new Ghana Hano.
Okay.
But literature trace average lifespan more for sickle cell 50 to 60 years.
Okay.
So that's the disclaimer. But just like the way I COVID, I was in the UK by then and I saw funny videos. I'll be see confidence mean Bagana Hano or the red pepper beshan and everything. And the impact of COVID, no, though it was really crazy out there. No, maybe Ghana, because I came during the pandemic. It wasn't that crazy and scary in the UK like it was in Ghana. Okay, so we have to do the research. The data niniho. By a research now, we'll be able to tell the average lifespan of Ghanaians are almost sickle cell disease. But ewa brochre no, you see after all the medical way no, the average life advancements ne no, the average lifespan no, 50 to 60 years. But senior matter can no, you won't they are able to live past their 60s into their 70s, 80s, and are even 100-year-old in Ghana.
Wow.
In Ghana, yes.
Okay.
So that's our encouragement to sickle cell warriors and your family members.
I see. Auntie Mary, what is your organization doing to change the narrative? Sickle cell in Komoya. What exactly are you doing?
Okay, Inti Senya Yene Theophilus from Sickle Cell Disease Support Group of Ghana, Ewahano. We are bringing together other sickle cell non-profits and a key stakeholders Ewa Ghana Hanum. Into this Friday, young na ye share wa Tank Palace Hotel. And na ye wa virtual link as well. We call ISCC Ghana. Ewa LinkedIn and I say Instagram and I say Facebook. Ubehu QR code no na wa scan flyer no.
Okay.
Young na ye share with Ministry of Health. Ghana Health Service, WHO Ghana, and as so many other stakeholders here, Bekasa about the current status of sickle cell disease in Ghana, and then any progress and then any challenges are on the ground, and how do we move forward to overcome this challenge? Because we'll be our role or bet to me, and I was say on play sickle cell disease, and yeah, rare ICC bet to me solving alone. Sickle cell disease support group can't solve it alone. Ministry of Health, no matter how big they are, we all need each other to come together. And if we come together, Ghana will be able to change the sickle cell narrative for our loved ones. So that's what we are gathering this Friday, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So anyone can join virtually tomorrow. Na this discussion so be our questions they can join and they can ask all the key stakeholders that are going to be available.
Okay, but focus on today and then World Sickle Cell Day. What is happening today?
Okay, in one of your partners, Sickle Gene Action Foundation, sickle cell screening, Akwebu Basic School.
Akwebu
Basic School.
Okay. Okay.
From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So anyone can walk in freely, and you get free sickle cell screening.
Know your genotype. They will screen you so that you know your genotype.
All right, Martha. And now quite World Sickle Cell Day. What message assembling and our Edema listeners of Adom FM and of Ghana phone Martha?
My message is one. Know your genotype. It will save you a whole lot. Knowledge is power. Know your genotype. In TNA Akoya World Sickle Cell Day, if you do not know your genotype, Mr. Rao, so to me unko Akwebu. It's free. Akwebu is free. Walk in there. They will screen you. If not, go to any trusted laboratory and find out your genotype. It will help you to make very informed reproductive decisions.
Theo?
Yes, sir. Okay, so inti me person me address patients na mo live with sickle cell.
Okay.
Say omo fa omo endro. Omo ko checkups regularly. Omo listen to omo doctors, especially the young youth now. Omo sickle cell disease na omo say omo ahoden no. Omo respect omo hospital appointment because sickle cell disease support group mouthpiece of the patient. Inti person mi kasa on behalf of all the patients say sickle cell disease me pacho Mr. fa wendro at regular time numunsio have enough rest. Get to your hospital appointment on time. And a bit me aboy nyina na ye bit me akoye nim me dase.
All right. Mary.
Inti, I also want to speak to the sickle cell warriors. No, one thing that yehuni say, so munya crisis depending on crisis, no say unye stable cry. I was say one call the nearest healthcare facility.
Yeah.
But from my experience, no say omuye stable cry and a healthcare facility esun with a lot of doctors and nurses. Say be benwa. It's best said they go to such facilities. Experienced healthcare professionals who are on between because say quite stable. Now call smaller facilities now. For her for like 3 days, and spend this account on labs. Say Ebani said they are not okay. Now say you refer to a bigger facility. Labs by that time no musika asa. Na abeye or how other times importantly acute chest syndrome na meka it happens within 2 to 3 days. In se women the needed management so on pakono show so on sheda ni sickle cell hunim there and I went to me and prevent this acute chest syndrome and now say be a sickle cell na kasa quite trade that into the acute chest syndrome was bound to happen then to me they die, they can get acute chest syndrome and die. Into personally, no. Yeah, you have to be very intentional. So, what sickle cell disease about healthcare facility, I will be receive care, and that is literally can be the difference between life and death.
All right. Adom 106.3 FM. It's been an interesting conversation. And personally, I would want to say a very big thank you to you guys for the great job you are doing. Moya dear papa. And you have this platform. You have my support.
Thank you.
Every time, any day, just give us a call. And we'll give you the platform
Thank you.
to educate us. And to send you tell Bible, Mary no matter.
Jesus.
All right, guys, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.